there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with match number 2 with the Temur Thopters. I think that we cannot keep this. If this was a Yavimaya Coast, I would be tempted to keep it. But the Reef, we can put out a Faerie Miscreant and then just hope for a land. I mean, it's not terrible, even this one lander. But I think you'd have to have a green source to want to keep this. So we're going to ship it back. And this is even worse. And we're getting really, really bad. We'll keep this one lander and scry anything away but a land. We'll put the land on top. Now, this isn't terrible. We have some Hangarback Walkers. Our opponent doesn't seem like he's off to a fast start like humans or something like that. So I think that this hand is acceptable. So go with the Coast. And go with the Faerie Miscreant, and then pass the turn. And it is a forest that our opponent is playing. Could be like a Seasons Past type deck is what I'm thinking. Transgress the Mind misses, so that helps our mulligan. That was nice. And he gets to be confused. That's why I love running rogue decks, because they have no idea what you're trying to do. We'll be able to get in for 1 and go for Hangarback Walker. Hangarback Walker's super good against Languish. Let's just hope he's not running either the Kalatas or the Flaying Tendrils. So if he isn't running any of those, then Walker should be amazing. He'll have to Grasp of Darkness it like next turn, and then we'll get a Thopter out of it. Next turn, we can also go Hangarback Walker and pump up a Hangarback Walker, which is always nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be some sort of Seasons Past list. Tyler's Tracker might come down here. Nissa. Okay. Nissa is fine. It does give him a forest, but this also allows us to probably go Evolutionary. No, we want Hangarback Walker. Evolutionary Leap is a nightmare for Seasons Past to work with because it gives us so much value. So he does need to like Languish as soon as possible. But then he has 3 Thopters that we can then go eat with Evolutionary Leaps. Yeah, there's the card I didn't want to see because it's really good against Languish. He'll attack in with the Nissa. And Evolutionary Leap it. That hurts. Hurts a lot. So I don't have any way to really deal with the Kalatas either. We do have the Evolutionary Leap. Oh, card is just disgusting. And then I'll keep back our cards because I do want to block with my Faerie Miscreant, and then Evolutionary Leap it is probably the better play. There's an Oath of Nissa. I did change up the deck list. You'll see this in the sideboard. I did put in some Clash of Wills over the Negates. I just think they're better with this type of deck that can tap for mana with Cryptolith Rites on our opponent's turn, and then Clash of Wills, whatever they're doing. So he's going to ruin his path, which we will instead now just eat it. And we don't get any value out of it. I think we actually just let the Kalatas go through here. I was going to Evolutionary Leap, but I think the better play is just to put a counter on the Hangarback Walker. Because we want to save the Faerie Miscreant. Whirler Rogue here is good, but I think we'd rather just run out the Faerie Miscreant. I want to hit land drops. I want a red source. Or Cryptolith Rite for sure. We do find a land. Again, I don't quite think it's the right play to put out the Whirler Rogue. because then we can't really do anything. And I hate that if he has a Languish in his hand too, we're just toast. I'll just pass the turn. Yeah, those zombie tokens, you can start eating them the Kalatas and then just Languish. So this is the one card that really, really gives us trouble. And I'll bring the roasts in for that. Dragonlord Silumgar. All right, so whatever he tries to eat will in response eat, or tries to take will in response eat it, but I'm sure it will be on the Hangarback. So we'll Evolutionary Leap it. And we get another Faerie Miscreant, so he can attack with everything here. I'm going to actually just take the damage again, because we draw a bunch of cards off of the... Faerie Miscreant next turn. So again, this is a Seasons Past deck. There's a Descent of Dragons. Would have been a great hand if we have a way to actually cast it, as at this point we could kill the Kalatas, the Dragonlord Silumgar, and keep up some 4/4s for ourselves, and we'd be back in this. So there's a few things we can draw into. This will draw us 2 cards. That was not one of them we wanted to see. I think Whirler Rogue needs to give us some blockers. So I will cast them. And then just pass the turn. We are down to a 6, though. Our opponent has a great board state, too. Transgress does hit something now. Hits my Descent of Dragons. Which he should take the Descent of Dragons. If he takes Pia and Kiran Nalaar, which he might actually take Pia and Kiran Nalaar, I could draw into a Cryptolith Rite, and then, yeah, I could kill on one turn with the Descent of Dragons and Dragon Tempest. No, because I have to chump block here. Yeah, I think that was the greedy pick, actually, on his part. All right, so that was what I was hoping would not happen. I can go down to a... Yeah, I'd have to block 2 of them at least. I think those are the 2 best to block. And go down to a 2. He gets no tokens out of this. Because now I don't have... The Cryptolith Rite will not be lethal. 4, 8, 12, 16. Well, it could be. Hangarback Walker, of course, is bad. I just think that we need to hit into a Faerie Miscreant here. Just to draw a bunch of cards. We get a Whirler Rogue. Which I don't think does it. Because it gives us 2 more blockers, but I think no matter what, that's lethal. So we could sacrifice another Faerie Miscreant to try to find a Cryptolith Rite. Again, not sure that does anything. Or try to find another Faerie Miscreant. Finds a Loam Dryad. That's not going to do it. All right, we'll go on to the sideboard here. Kalatas ruins our day. Yeah, without Kalatas would have been fine. I might actually just... This is where we might go Ulamog. Just I don't think the deck has any way to deal with Ulamog. And Clash of Wills as well. Impact Tremors is also something that could be decent. I'm still going to run a Hangarback Walker. He has to answer it with the Kalatas. The Roast will come in just for Kalatas. The Cryptolith Rites are still want to be Evolutionary Leap. Duskwatch Recruiters are actually really good here too. I don't know. See, I want to bring in Ulamogs. I'm not quite sure I want to bring in Dragonlord Atarka. It does kill. It's another thing that does kill is Kalatas, though, and is very hard for him to deal with. Sarkhan, I don't think, is the right play in this one. Maybe I do just want to go more of this mid-range route rather than our early Faerie Miscreant type route and not get just blown out by Languish. So I'm not sure the Descent of Dragons actually is. We'll keep in one and probably just one Dragon Tempest. I think that cuts it down quite a bit. Same with the Faerie Miscreants. I think they're just the weakest of the cards here. Pilgrim's Eye gets value. Loam Dryad gets value. But is it something we need to accelerate really, really fast into? Maybe even Duskwatch Recruiter. Yeah, Duskwatch gets me back in here. All these cards get me back in. So is Hangarback Walker still the right play? I think Loam Dryad, we need to keep in some amount of 1-drops, though. And the Thopter Engineers need to stay in. The Whirler Rogues and Pia and Kiran Nalaar just, again, get us back in this game. So it might just be Sarkhan. I'm just going to go down to a 1 of Sarkhan. In fact, Sarkhan just might not be the right. Sarkhan's just so good card advantage. So maybe I just need to do a little bit of cuts here and there with all of them. And it just might just be Loam Dryad. And then just try to get there naturally. Just these more high impact cards that just don't get destroyed by Languish. Probably Evolutionary Leap was the... Well, no, Evolutionary Leap is good too. This is not a keepable hand, I don't think. We have the Westvale Abbey, Forest, Clash of Wills. Just the wrong colors here. And once again, the mulligans are going to kill us. I think this 5-land's the best we can hope for. I'm actually going to put a Dragon Tempest on the bottom because I want to hit into cards that I can actually utilize more effectively. Oath of Nissa. So this is probably... I wonder if this is a 4-colored list that runs the Sorin in here, if that's the Oath of Nissa. What is he... And did he just miss on that? Let me check the chat log. Yep, he missed. Missed with the Oath. So that was good. That was like a mulligan. Here, I think that it's just going to be Hangarback. Or we could go Duskwatch. Yeah, Duskwatch, he has to actually do something on turn number 2 now. Otherwise, it's going to flip. And it does flip. So that's awesome because it allows us to Hangarback Walker for 2. Roast is great. That's our Kalatas answer. And we'll get in there for 3. There's a blue source, so he still doesn't have Languish mana. It's going to be like Oath of... Or Brilliant Plague, which is... Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Because it shuts down my... Yeah, it shuts down a lot of things in my deck. So I think I'm in Evolutionary Leap and... keep up the Hangarback Walker. Yeah, Plague is actually super, super good. There's another, I guess, trump card against us. As that does take away... the Hangarback Walker threat. The Languish here would just be brutal if he has it. It's an ultimate price, and I can't do anything about it. But we do get to pump up the Hangarback Walker. Sarkhan, unfortunately, is something I can't even come close to dealing with. And we're still a bit a ways from Languish. I think I just attack in. I'm just going to cast a Thopter Engineer. Might not be the right play. I think if you would have used the... If you had a Languish, you'd have used it. Tireless Tracker. All right, we'll roast that. And then attacking again. Another Hangarback Walker. Yeah, it's just going to be roast on the Tireless Tracker. And attacking for 4. So maybe we do need to put in some Anti-Virulent Plague. He gets another Tireless Tracker. And he does have a land to investigate. I'm going to eat a Thopter or a... Okay, so we get a Whirler Rogue, which the Virulent Plague is just brutal against. We do find a Mountain, which means we can cast... Do I want to trade with this Tireless Tracker? I think I just hang her back for 1, keep it back, and then we have the Evolutionary Leap as well. Still doesn't have Languish mana. He will after he goes and gets a basic Swamp. Yeah, that's very rough. He'd have to sacrifice enough clues to keep his Tireless Tracker alive, though. He's going to do so. Ultimate Price doesn't do anything. Oath of Nissa doesn't do a lot. And he gets a Lumbering Falls off the Oath of Nissa, but he's already played a land this turn. And again, not quite sure. I think I just eat my Hangarback Walker to try to find something else. So we do get Ulamog, but Ulamog's a long ways from really coming out here. I think it's just going to be Sarkhan and swinging with the Hangarback Walker and make him trade with the Tireless Tracker. I can't let him have him be getting any more advantage. Or I could Hangarback Walker. I could leave up a counter for Hangarback Walker, and that just means that the... I think I'm going to do this. So we're going to go Sarkhan. And then this gives him a little bit of... Yeah, I think this is the better play. So now we survive the Languish. He has to decide where he wants to attack in. If he wants to sack a clue and attack on the Tireless Tracker, he has to have a way to deal with Hangarback Walker. And then that's 2 mana down the drain, so I don't know if he can chain off anything else after that. I think that's the best play. Oh, that Virulent Plague. So I guess that's nature's natural state we could put in the sideboard. I know there's one that actually exiles an artifact or enchantment and gives you a clue as well for 3 mana. And Kalitas, and he decides not to attack in. So Sarkhan is going to give me some more value. Thopter Engineer, that helps get, it at least gives us something to eat. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw. Add a blue or a green? I think we want to add a blue here. You'd have to trade again with a Tireless Tracker. Man, I'm going to give him a ton of zombie tokens here, is the problem. We just need to keep up a little bit of mana for the Evolutionary Leap, I think. I think we went a green here. So yes, we can Thopter Engineer as well. Because this leaves up either Evolutionary Leap or Pilgrim's Eye, and then I can attack in for 1. Do I want to attack in for 1 with the Pilgrim's Eye, though? Now, I don't think that damage is necessarily the right way to go. Another clue. I probably should have made that trade with the Tireless Tracker a long time ago. Now, my opponent also doesn't get Kalitas, though. That's true. This Virulent Plague's kind of shutting down Kalitas. He also can't use Languish really effectively here. And he's going to go at the... So I'm going to block. And then we will Evolutionary Leap it. And we get a Pia and Kiran Nalaar. Which is terrible, but it's... at least something. He's going to sack a clue, because he's getting desperate here to find like a Nissa's Renewal, possibly? Needs a Ruinous Path, too. Ruinous Path would be really good. Alright, so we make him kill his Kalitas here. Cryptolith Rite's okay. It can help us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That Virulent Plague still. So we'll add a green here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have Duskwatch Recruiter, which would be nice. It's just going to be the Cryptolith Rite. And I think just the Duskwatch Recruiter. He could have a Grasp of Darkness, so I don't think I attack into Kalitas. I'm not too worried about Kalatas. Sack another clue. Nine cards in hand. I mean, he could chain off a Languish and like a Grasp of Darkness. Another Evolving Wilds for his Tireless Tracker. Card just puts in so much work. So he's digging. Now he can't do a Languish and something, so I keep my Hangarback Walker alive. So they're both going at Sarkhan, and maybe I just let it go through. Do I care about Sarkhan? I think I actually do care about Sarkhan. So he grasps on the Hangarback Walker. Make him use the grasp. Yeah, I think I do. Get another Pia and Kiran Nalaar, which again is not a great card, versus the Plague. And there's the Grasp of Darkness. So once again, we'll just Evolutionary Leap it. There's a Thopter Engineer. Get a Pilgrim's Eye. That's nice. Fills back up our hand. But we're just slightly away from being able to cast the Ulamog. Let's see if this gets Ulamog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think we Ulamog here. Take out Kalatas and Tireless Tracker. Or actually, what we're going to take out is an Island. And Tireless Tracker. I think that's the right play. And that just really sets him back. He'll sack a clue. Might just be the only island in his deck. Oh, he's got Yavimaya Coast too, but he's discarded them. So you can get it back. I just think killing the island's the right play. Maybe the Brilliant Plague would be the right thing because I can get a bunch of tokens out with all the tokens in my deck. Because he could still attack. It's going to be hard for him to kill Sarkhan here, though. Sarkhan's just going to do a ton of work. And there's a Ruinous Path anyway, but yeah, so because it can't go against Ulamog. And there's a Sylvan Advocate. Ulamog's going to make him exile a ton of cards. So the Ruinous Path just came too late for him. We do find another And he's got a block here as well. And I think what we'll do is just Pilgrim's Eye, which goes and gets us another land, if we have any more. We do. And we'll just go with a... Whoops, used all my green sources there. That was stupid. Just a Whirler Rogue. Almost had the kill there with 2 artifacts to give it unblockable. But that Virulent Plague. So Ulamog is by far the worst card. I play Seasons Past a lot. It's my competitive deck, actually. And it's extremely hard to beat an Ulamog. She's going to Languish. We'll Evolutionary Leap in response. We get a Dragonlord Atarka. And another Ulamog. So he had to be able to do 6 more. Be 2 Grass of Darknesses hand he'd have to do to kill Ulamog. Ulamog just kills him here. And there's the concession. Alright, so onto the sideboard. Again, what is... We have to figure out what are the good cards. Like, he's keeping in Languishes. I don't think, like, Impact Tremors is the right way to go. I think this is actually going to be... He's going to bring back in the Transgresses, though. Clash of Wills will do very good against, like, Languishes. So maybe I just do go, like, Clash of Wills strategy. Go back to the Loam Dryads and Faerie Miscreants, and then just try to Clash of Wills the Languishes. Or Clash of Wills the... Now he knows that Sarkhan... Nah, I think we just keep as is. Alright, we finally get a keepable hand. Double Roast is actually pretty sweet. Our opponent Snap keeps his hand, so it's got to be like a Virulent Plague that's in his hand. And no first turn Oath of Nissa. We did get very lucky on that last game that missed. Another Sarkhan, that's beautiful. Let's go with the Cinder Glade and play tapped. And followed up with the Palace Familiar. See if he has a Transgress. Sylvan Advocate. Well, actually, I think I'll roast that. We could bring in Clash of Wills for Virulent Plague. Yeah, I don't need to roast the Advocate quite yet. I don't even know if I need to get a Palace Familiar out either. And I would like to keep the Clash of Wills up for this particular turn, because this is the Virulent Plague turn. I think I will Clash of Wills it. Now that I've got to use it. Like, I went all in for this turn being Clash of Wills. So, I mean, it's kind of a weaker card to Clash of Wills. But I think if he would have used the Virulent Plague if he had it. So we'll just go Pilgrim's Eye here, which thins out our deck. I still think we want, what do we have? Blue, green, red. I think we want another blue for the Whirler Rogues. Oath of Nissa. Can find land planeswalker or creature, so not an enchantment. He does find a Yavimaya Coast. Love a Cryptolith Rite here if we could get one. This turn we can roast and... Or we'll probably just end up Palace Familiaring and... Because it's 6 or more lands, so I don't think he wants to Languish away as Sylvan Advocate quite yet. So I think it's just Duskwatch Recruiter. Or do we want to... We definitely want to hit our land source, though. So maybe it is just the Pilgrim's Eye. Or do we just want to naturally draw into it? I think it's just going to be The Palace Familiar, that gives us a blocker to actually draw a card, and Duskwatch Recruiter. And we'll attack him for 1. This gives us a really good play for a Kalatas, a really good play for... A Languish is actually quite even here if he just languishes, because he loses a Sylvan Advocate, we draw a card off the Palace Mirror, we've already got advantage off the Pilgrim's Eye. We do have to start playing quicker, I'm down to 5 minutes. So he's going to ruin his path to Duskwatch Recruiter, I'm okay with that. And attacking the Sylvan Advocate, which I do believe we block. I do want to hit a land. Whirler Rogue's fine, it kind of helps out. I do need a roast. No, I still don't need a roast quite yet. I think I'd just rather Sarkhan. Draw a card. He uses Ruinous Path too. So Sarkhan. And that just got advantage. Now we have a blocker for Sarkhan. We'll block. So keep Sarkhan alive. Haven't had any Cryptolith Rites. That's annoying. And he does have a Ruinous Path, though. So here, I think we just go Whirler Rogue. And roast. Need to find an Evolutionary Leap. I'm sure he might just languish here now. He is getting quite mana flooded. Yes, he does languish, but that's okay. We just use languish on 1 card. We're also getting quite mana flooded. We'll play another Whirler Rogue. And a Pilgrim's Eye. And we do need a red source now. And then pass the turn. Down to 1 card. Let's hope it's like not a Season's Past. Or another Languish. I love for it to just be a Kalatas. A Lamelt Pacifist, which is very, very useless versus us. Don't even need to roast it. There's Ulamog. I guess my land flooding is okay now. It's going to attack in for 3. Again, not going to roast the Pacifist. Don't need to. That's kind of a weak card to bring in versus us. I guess it does flip. If he wants to try to race me, I'm fine with that, though. Let's hit a Cryptolith Rite. There's a Thopter Engineer. Two cards in our opponent's hand, though. So the Quagmire is going to make the block with the Whirler Rogue. It's okay for me. Might actually just roast this guy. Might not be the right play. We'll end up seeing. 3 minutes. 2 cards in hand. Hopefully it's not Languish. Dragonlord Silumgar. That card's annoying, but we can Ulamog eventually. And there's Cryptolith Rite. So do we have enough for Crypto? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. So tap it all. We have the Ulamog. This. And his blue source again. And we'll pass the turn with 3 minutes remaining. Drew the Cryptolith Rite off the top. Well, I guess that's the good news when sometimes you're definitely mana flooded. He needs another Dragonlord Silumgar. I'm not quite sure they actually run more than one in the deck. But man, this is one of my favorite decks I've built in a long time. Tire Sharker can actually play and then play land if he has one, but he's just dead next turn to the Ulamog. He has to block and he has to exile a ton of cards out of his deck, which isn't what he wants to be doing. We have a Sarkhan anyway. We don't have a way to give anything flying. We will cast the Sarkhan. $20 cards out of the way. Let's see what they were for funsies. Another Dragonlord Silumgar is gone, which is what he needs to draw into. So he does run more than one. And that's game. All right, so 2-0 with our little Thopter deck. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching.